He just got done doing an incredible set. Now Dan, I hear you're a DM, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you were saying you get most of your creative energy when?
I get creative energy when I'm doing two things at once. I write songs when I'm driving, and like during the Bristol Renaissance Fair auditions, I've been known to write songs down. A lot of times,
I would be driving over people at this point.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm careful, kind of. I actually dictate. What I'll do is I'll dictate the song into a phone, and then I'll go back later and then use the recorder and kind of sift out what I meant.
Oh, is that smart?
So by writing a song, I don't mean actually physically writing one.
Sure, okay.
So anyway, I do that, and then by playing games and talking to people, conversations, I just hear really good stories, and occasionally one really good idea pops up, and it sticks in my brain, and that just kind of like grows into a bigger idea, which grows into a song, and that's how a lot of my songs come. And occasionally I have to woodshed them down, but that's pretty much it. I come up with one funny line or one funny image, and everything is developed from there.
Now you did something incredible. I'm trying to remember the name of the writer. Who is the writer that?
Douglas Adams, you mean?
Douglas Adams, yes. Please elaborate on that song.
I wrote a song called Caerdroin Whalefolder. Caerdroin is a druid in a game that I run as a dungeon master, and one time he used a large whale to block an outer space gate, and the suction of the outer space gate sucked the whale through. And it's a 10-verse song, and the last verse is all about, we really worry about that whale, even though it's supposed to be fine and go back to its world of water. We bought it a pot of petunias, red and blooming, and the petunia pot outlaw thought, oh no, not again, which is reference to Hitchhikers. So, and then we give homage to cross-genre references, which is something that around the gaming table is just prevalent, cross-genre references. We make quotes and concern all different movies and genres and TV shows. It's
genius. Sheer genius. So, do you GM pretty regularly, or?
About every other week. I have a friend who runs a different game, and we trade off back and forth.
Oh, okay, co-DM kind of thing.
By this time, you know, I'm 36. I've got 2 kids. Our friends all have kids. They come over, and it's a party. We put the kids to bed. They have a sleepover, and we stay up all night playing games, and it's a lot of fun. So it's become like a bridge club. When I was
I hate you. I wish I had a lifestyle like that.
Well, it's not as much as we want it to be, but it's really, really fun. And
that is awesome.
They've all become friends over the years. So. And they're the next generation. Eventually we'll have a grown-up table and the kid table. So
now tell me about your fascination with owl bears.
I just think it's a fun monster. It's illogical. Wizards created them, and it's a purely Dungeons and Dragons monster. It's not found in history anywhere.
Right.
I looked. There's like a chief bear owl or something in Native American mythology, but he was a real person, and it wasn't quite the same thing. So it's just an awesome creature. I mean, the fact is, it's a bridge creature that says you are no longer a low-level character. You can handle an owlbear. And once you have to fight the owlbear, and you can handle getting your arms and head bitten off and hugged to death.
And which you wrote a song about.
Yes, and you can move up from there. So the owlbear song.
Yes. Tell us about this song that kept me befuddled for the first 3 listenings.
The owlbear song is based on a 6th-level druid spell, Reincarnation. And the idea is that you roll a random thing to come back to life. So you can come back as an elf, a dwarf, a gnome, a kobold, a hobgoblin, or whatever. So I expanded that a bit, and here's generally the idea. I am walking through the forest, hanging out, and I see an owlbear. The owlbear charges me, attacks me, rips off my arms and my head, but a druid happens to come by, sees me lying there dead, and the next day reincarnates me, but I come back as a halfling, and then I come back as all sorts of different creatures, like bears and gnolls and gnomes and an elf, and eventually I get to come back as myself. The price to pay is my attention span is worse than it was before, but it's
which is very short.
Yes, which is not much to begin with, so that's how that goes.
That is brilliant. I don't even know where to run with this because I'm a pretty creative guy and you just stomp me in creativity.
Ha.
So,
the way, it was funny, I wanted to do this much earlier, but when I was young, I was getting good at music, but I didn't have a large music vocabulary. And I dove into Renaissance medieval music and a lot of Irish folk music. Then I learned a couple hundred songs. When you know a couple hundred songs and tunes, suddenly when you go to write a new one, the melodies come to you sooner. And another thing I like to do is take a medieval or a Renaissance tune that no one's using anymore. We have them in books, they're really nice tunes, and set Dungeons and Dragons songs to that music. So lyric I write gets set to this music. And it's the equivalent
of... How cool is that?
You know, you've got medieval arms and armor. You can see what a sword looks like. But this is actually music that was performed in the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, which would have been probably similar to what Dungeons and Dragons characters were performing.
Sure.
in their own worlds. And so my idea was to take Dungeons & Dragons lyrics and bring to life these old tunes, which are really nice and sweet. And in my CD liner notes, I always demark which one goes with which song and which tune and everything.
And it amazes me how you cover every single genre of D&D. I mean, not only all the different classes, but various ways of dying. I noticed that the word spleen is rather prevalent in your methods of killing people.
You know,
I find that very funny.
Spleen has become the comic writer's default organ of choice for ripped out and stuff. So there's spleens and other things, and a lot of it comes from my first few years at Bristol. I was singing songs, and it was nice. I would sing a lute song and love songs, but because I was singing love songs and drinking songs all day, there was a certain demographic being left out. 10-year-old guys, boys.
Right.
They needed
the ones that wanted
a
violence.
song about fairies flying around and happiness. They really, really want to hear about swords cutting off people's heads. So I started writing one of those, and then I discovered an important secret. Apparently, a lot of our fans are
all these wonderful people. All these wonderful people.
And so I slowly but surely started introducing gaming songs, and then they keep following me around, which led me to write more songs, which led them to follow me around even more. And now they're my awesomest, funnest people to hang out with because they...
You're getting sucked down the void of gaming,
I
yes.
welcomely join the void.
Awesome.
Possibly go.
Absolutely awesome. Can you tell us where people can go to check you out? Do you have a website or anything? I
have two main websites. I have www.bardsong.net. This is my mainstream website that I use for schools and libraries because I do storytelling during the school year.
Okay.
But I also am at bard.phoenixlore.com. And that is a site run by Penny Williams, and it is a great site with a free online magazine. And I have my own page there where you can listen to tracks of my music. You can download it. I'm also
how cool is that?
cdbaby.com and iTunes. You can get most of my music there as well. But my newest music comes out first, Phoenix Lore. So,
that is cool. Can you give us a quick blurb about what Phoenix Lore is kind of all about?
Phoenix Lore is an online gaming magazine devoted towards 3rd edition, and it has lots of useful stuff, chat rooms. It features Harpy the Harpy, who's an advice columnist, who actually
That's hysterical, yes.
helps gamers with romance problems.
A gamer with romance problems?
And
There's never been
she'll
that.
help you with anything. So she's got really good advice, and it's just funny. So if you've got some free time to sit around and check out websites, look at phoenixlore.com. It's really, really funny. And also you can find there, I have started a new business as I'm very excited about, the commission edition of business, where I actually get commissions to write songs about people's D&D characters.
Oh, please tell us more.
Well, the first song I sang at this set, Aramil Amastasel, was a song for John Wydick, who is Roger's brother. Roger and John commissioned me to write 3 songs. I wrote Aramil Amastasel, Carlos the Dwarf, and Fingon the Fell. And I've written, I think, up to 6 or 7 of these commission songs now. Not limited to other songs like Zombie Apocalypse Love Story.
I was just going to bring that up.
That's a good one too, but that's a long story. So anyway, now I've got people coming to me and sending information that goes through Penny, which comes to me, and then during my free time, I get to write songs about Dungeons & Dragons, which I have to tell you is the most fun thing ever.
I can't imagine anything cooler. Dan, you are a genius. We are so lucky
Thank you very much.
to meet you, and you'll be hearing more about Dan in the future, I am sure. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.